Hello, friends, and welcome to the Every Touch Point Matters podcast, where we explore how every interaction, internal or external, impacts leadership, professional reputation, and how we're perceived in business. And today, my guest is Allan Colton. Allan is the CEO of Colton Consulting Group, and for more than 3 decades, he's been a trusted advisor to the leaders of accounting and consulting firms across the country. Known for his energy, candor, and passion for helping firms grow, Allan has spent his career guiding leaders through strategy, succession, compensation, governance, and M&A. He's been named one of the top 100 most influential people in the accounting profession for 25 straight years and was even inducted into the Accounting Hall of Fame. A dynamic keynote speaker and coach, Allan brings insight, humor, and hard-earned wisdom to every room he's in. Allan, welcome to Every Touch Matters.
David, that was sensational. Thank you. I wish I could have taped that and played that for Jack, Brian, and Julia, my 3 kids. They think I'm the biggest loser. So thank you.
Well, the
You're
good
making
news is you're going to get a fully produced spot of this, and you can show it to them. But anyway, Allan, I'm delighted to have you. I have to be honest with you. I'm kind of a fanboy. I've admired your work. You know, I started my business 22 years ago, and you and I had conversations, 20 years ago. And at the time, we'll talk about it, you were with your original entrepreneurial venture, PDI. But boy, things have continued to evolve for you and your journey. And I just am so impressed. I mean, you're an entrepreneur, you're an author, you're a connector, you're a media commentary guy, you're a deal guy. You're kind of a old school influencer. And I almost call you the consigliere to the accounting profession. So anyway, welcome. Let's just kind of play back where you've come from. My daughter's a University of Wisconsin-Madison grad, by
right.
the way, in the business school. So I know that's where you started. You were an accounting and marketing major there. And then you found your way up, of course, into accounting. But I don't usually see individuals like you who have technical skills, right? Accounting skills, but also recognize the importance of the marketing side, the relationship side, the engagement in the marketplace. So help me understand that, because you're a unicorn, excuse me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reflecting and, 4 decades as you're talking, and I don't think I've ever just stopped to think about it. And I
Yeah.
think if I did stop to think about it, I probably would say, oh my God, you had so many warning signals not to do what you were about to do. Either you're stupid or lucky or both or neither, because there were so many touch points where I should have just called it a day and done something else. I mean,
Mm,
to hear your daughter is from the University of Wisconsin, that just brings back those memories of the business school.
yeah.
Bascom Hill. I can remember
Yeah.
standing there after the introductory exam, 6 weeks in and flunking the course, and everybody saying, hey, you love marketing. This is your time to make the move. And, it's moments like that every year for 40 years where either someone says you can't or you don't believe you can, and you always just go back with your gut,
Yeah.
your instincts. What do I want to do? And
Well,
boy,
again, these journeys of entrepreneurism, as you well know, are there's fits and starts, there's highs and lows. I've been through them, you've been through them, and again, congratulations on where it's taken you.
okay.
Um, Tell me a little more. You started more in the accounting profession, but then pivoted into marketing to or assisting with, maybe in an outsourced fashion, doing marketing for accounting firms. So help me understand that.
Yeah, dumb luck and timing. So
Okay.
it's the early '80s. Up until then, accounting firms are not allowed to market. They're not allowed to solicit business. It's deemed to be
Mm,
unprofessional.
mm,
And in 1980, there's the Bates decision, which I was oblivious to. But as the story goes, as long as it's not false, misleading, or deceptive, you can go after business, you can advertise, you can promote your services. And I was fortunate. I couldn't get a job in public accounting because my grades were so bad. My best friend, Jordy, his dad, Howard Schnall, Nankin Schnall at the time in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, uh, took a risk on me. They hired
Hmm.
me. And as luck would have it, because accountants are so nice, they never give you feedback that you're not doing a good job. So I thought I was doing a good job because nobody
Yeah.
ever said anything. It was 6 months in, and he summoned me into his office, and I'm like, okay, the 6 month review. And he says to me, "How do you think you're doing?" And I said, "Well, I think pretty good. I'm assuming this meeting is because I'm going to get promoted from staff to senior." And if you would have seen the look on his face, you would have known that that question just wasn't going to go anywhere. He goes in his desk drawer, he literally takes out the partnership agreement, he throws it across the desk at me and says, "Read paragraph 16." And, I'm thinking, wow, I thought I was doing a great job at partnership.
Yeah.
How could this be? And I read it and it says mandatory retirement is the header, and you have to, at age 65, you're done. And I said, "Howard, I think you got the wrong paragraph here. It talks about mandatory retirement." And he says, "No, no, that's the right one. You asked me the question, Alan, how long will it take you to advance from staff to senior? And based on the firm's mandatory retirement at age 65, I don't think you'll make it."
Oh
He
boy.
said, "Let me stay with that for a second." He says, "I got good
Okay.
news and bad news." He says, the the bad news is you're the worst accountant we've ever seen. We couldn't get enough malpractice insurance to cover your acts." He says, "You're fired." I said, "What's the good news?" He says, "I'm going to rehire you on Monday." I said, "Doing what?" He says, "I don't know. I don't have a clue, but I need
Wow.
the weekend to figure it out." It was that moment that little did I know was going to set me up for probably where I sit today.
So, Alan, awesome story about Howard. Okay. And you said that sometimes you don't get straight talk from accountants. That seemed to be pretty straight talk. Okay. But what a seminal moment for you, right? And as you said, it right, really changed the trajectory for your career. It sounds like he came back on Monday and offered you, maybe that's where the marketing element came in, or help me understand.
Yeah, so Monday comes around, but the weekend happens, and I have to go to my parents who helped me get through college
Sure,
and
sure.
said, "Look at Alan, if you're not smart enough to be a doctor, at least be a lawyer. If you're not shrewd enough to be a lawyer, at least be an accountant because you always have a job." So now I'm a big failure in front of my parents who had helped me to get through college, not in
Mm,
4 years, but 5 years. And I've got to explain it to them, and they were not happy. Well, I come back on Monday, and the role is three things. It's one, I want you to be the assistant to the managing partner, to me,
mm,
and help me to grow this business and make it more profitable. Number two, he said, I want you to be our director of marketing. There
okay.
were no director of marketing positions in 1982 in the accounting profession.
Yep.
So I guess technically I was the first one in the country.
Yeah.
Hence, when I was inducted into the Association of Accounting for Marketing Hall of Fame, they reminded me that, dumb luck, you opened up the door for many others and probably just didn't know it. And the third item is they were putting me in charge of their banking practice. What did I know about banking? Nothing. They said, "Here's how it goes. We looked at your networking list." He sent an email and he said, "Put down every business owner, referral source that you know in Milwaukee." Well, all of the other 13 partners were accountants. Their networking list was a handful of names. Mine was 3 pages. It was more than the entire partner group put together times three at the ripe old age of 23 years old.
Yeah.
And they said, "How is this possible?" I said, "I'm the shoe shine boy in the men's locker room at a prestigious club." And every time they had 9 players upstairs to play basketball, I got the call to be the 10th. These are my friends. I
Yeah.
didn't know I wasn't supposed to put them down. He says, "Perfect." He says, "We're going to put you also in charge of business development,
Wow.
and you're going to introduce us to all those people that you know."
Hmm.
So sometimes you plant seeds in life and business and have no idea when they'll come back to harvest.
Yeah.
And at an early age, I came to realize, wow, this is an asset.
So, Alan, let's keep going on that if you don't mind. Young people don't necessarily recognize the importance of relationship building and networking and keeping a list like you did. What was it about your makeup or maybe some influencer in your life leading up to that said, these relationships are important and you need to continue to nurture them? Was there someone or something that influenced you?
Yes, and what a wonderful question, David. It was my mom and dad.
Yeah.
The mantra, two things. Number one, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Mm,
And number two is always try to find the good in people. And to
mm,
do that, there's two things you have to have going for you. One, you have to be a great listener. And number two, you have to know how to ask good questions.
mm.
People will open up, but you have to put the platform there for them to do it. So that if I had to say what was my major, I think my major is I like to communicate. I like
Yeah.
people. I was on a mission to find the good in people, and there's good in everyone. Sometimes you have to look a little harder on some, but it's there. So that was what I brought to the table. They packaged it and said,
Wow.
this person can help us win business.
Wow. I wish more accountants had the advice from their parents about this important set of skills: relationship building, being curious, asking questions, looking for the good in others, building trust. Of course, the work that I do, and it's anchored in a lot of that. We'll come back to that in a minute, Alan, but you've obviously parlayed this worldview of not only technical competence, but marketplace engagement, relationship development, business development, revenue generation, networking. You parlayed that into a firm called PDI, which was doing outsourced marketing for accounting firms. And then there was a moment where I believe you sold the business, Thomson Reuters, I think it was, and then pivoted into Colton Consulting, which I'd like to know more about that because I want to lead into some of the conversations you're having with other accounting firms around a lot of what's happening right now. Private equity taking big stakes in professional services firms, especially accounting. But there was a moment there where you pivoted into advising these accounting firms. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, and that started back in the 1980s. In those days, I was the one that would come in to help your firm grow your business. I quickly realized in the 80s that if compensation wasn't aligned to reward bringing in business, they wouldn't do it. And in the 90s, I would say I became a compensation consultant,
Okay.
partner compensation. I love when people say it's not about partner comp, it's always about partner comp.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the next decade, what I came to realize was growing it, getting rewarded for it. But if the firm is all messed up, if it's a dysfunctional place and there's poor leadership, so things like governance and strategy began to round out the platform of things.
Yeah.
In my heyday, I was doing 40 to 50 partner and board retreat facilitations. And you know what those are? It's where you bring the shareholders and stakeholders together, talk about where we're at, talk about where they want to go and how they're going to get there, and the alignment, getting everyone on the same page.
Yeah.
And it hit me pretty early that there's a third, a third, a third. In any room I'm in, there's a third called overachievers, there's a third called okay achievers, and there's a third that probably are underachievers or underperformers. And overlay that with the separate third, a third, a third. There's a third that want to grow and get better and take risk. There's a third that just don't want to be involved in the discussion. They just want to serve clients. And there's a third that want to hold on to the past.
Yeah.
And when you study the brain of an accountant, and I've been doing this for 130,000 hours over 40 years, risk adverse, don't like change, don't rock my world, predictable behaviors, good people. When
Yeah.
there's a question of integrity or economics, making money, they always choose integrity, doing the right thing.
Thanks, Alan. Let's keep going on that piece. You talk about this is a risk averse group of individuals, yet here you are talking about strategy, talking about maybe tweaking the comp plan, incentive, performance expectations. How do you move the needle with a group of individuals that third, a third, a third. Two-thirds of them are probably more comfortable just staying where they are.
Yeah.
You got to find some way to buy them in, right? Build the business case. What's the secret sauce there?
Dave, you have to break it down to little pieces.
Got it.
You have to find out, first of all, who the inner circle is. Who are the influencers? Is there a decision maker? I often make fun of the partnership model. A seven partner firm, anyone can say no, but no one can say yes. So
Mm.
you have to figure out what the governance and decision making process. Number two, they've nicknamed me over the years Dr. Phil and Coach K, and what I try to do is get in the head of the individual. And Dave, I asked the same question, and you've heard me ask it. Dave, today is October 15th, 2025. I want you to dream with me about you.
Mm.
Let's pretend it's October 15, 2028. I want you to think about what you want to achieve in your business and personal life. Lock that in. Now walk me back 3 years to today and tell me all the things that have to happen to make those dreams a reality. And you know what? I can ask that question and I can shut my mouth for 1 hour and take notes and
Wow.
listen. And what are they doing? They're giving me the playbook
Yep.
of everything, their dreams, their aspirations,
Yeah.
the risk of failure, the
Mhm.
roadblocks, and then we can build a plan.
Wow.
That's what you have to do with the partnership model.
Yeah.
Get it down to little pieces.
Alan, thank you. I love that. Start with the end in mind. What does it look like several
Yeah.
years down? And then we can kind of back into it. Boy, that's a powerful first question that all you need to do now is sit back and listen, right? Take some notes and be curious, maybe ask some follow-on questions, etc. Alan, you've been a deal guy now of late, and we've seen a big wave of private equity companies coming in and placing bets on professional services firms, especially accounting firms. You've seen it with Grant Thornton, you've seen it with Baker Tilly, you've seen it in several other areas, Aprio. Um, Help me understand the mindset quickly, because I want to get into some other questions. But what's going on, and how are you helping to make these connections?
Yeah. So the perfect storm. It's January, February, March, first quarter of 2020. And would you believe that four things happened at the exact moment? Number one, we came to the reality that talent no longer wants to enter the accounting profession. It had been declining for 5 consecutive years, to a point where 50% of entry level accountants were no longer accountants. There were other opportunities where they could make more money and maybe have more of their life. Number two, technology became real. The advent of AI and bots, the ability to take what took 200 people hours and get it done with the flip of a switch.
Hmm.
That would require a lot of capital. The
Yep.
third T, talent, technology, transformation. What got us to the dance won't keep us at the dance.
Hmm.
In a compliance world, it's possible that compliance will evaporate over a period of time as real time reporting takes hold. And the fourth one, I think, was just trouble. I think accountants were finding not only were they recession proof in years 2020, 21, 22, 23, when you don't spend money, you make more money in the short term. So I've often said change only happens in an accounting firm when the change itself is deemed to be better than the
Hmm.
status quo. So the status quo in those years was really, really good. They had back to back to back years of making more money. It was like a mirage. Don't you see what's happening with talent? Don't you see with technology? Don't you see the need to transform your business? And private equity saw all this and said, we're going to come in and deliver the capital and the strategic lift to change these businesses. Dave, the accounting profession started in 1887. That's 137 years ago. For 132 of the years, it was a steady Eddie business. We
Yep.
lived in a bubble, a
Yeah.
protected shell, and the bubble burst.
Hmm. Alan, thank you. Let's keep going on that, okay? So the game has changed for professional services, no question. Not only accounting, but other specialties within professional services. You talked about the impact on talent, and of course, technology. AI has entered the fray, and let's be honest, it's taken some of the technical skills off the table for some of these subject matter experts. What they were bringing to the table on behalf of their firm to a client was, their detailed knowledge, their expertise. But AI is doing some of that now. And so the question becomes that how are these billable professionals showing up differently? And many of them are recognizing that they've got to bring more to the table. The more is not necessarily more technical skills; they already have it. I believe, and this is why I'm in business, the more is the relationship competencies, the collaboration competencies, the communication competencies, some of the soft skills that unfortunately for many, many years in professional services were sort of poo pooed. Hey, it's about technical knowledge, subject matter expertise. So that's where this every touch point matter thing comes into play. Again, I've been doing this for 20 years. What's your opinion on every touch matters?
So, Dave, let me connect three dots here, and I'll try
Please,
to be as
please.
quick as I can.
Yeah, no problem.
The first one is my mission today. I'm on a crusade. It's to get young talent to understand there's never been a better time to be in public accounting.
Hmm.
They think there'll be no jobs. I'm like, stop. Like AI, let me explain it to you. Level one, yeah, chat GPT, you're looking in, you're trying to get information, which you should. That's good. Level two is the mundane things you've been doing all these years that oftentimes get people to leave the profession. Guess what? Technology is going to lift that from you. But let me tell you where the puck is going. It's the year 2030. That's 4.5 years from today. The accountant will no longer be preparing a financial statement or tax return. It will be 100% prepared by AI related bots and possibly offshoring work uh, in some other country. And
Yep.
here's the question we need to be thinking. Remember when you were a little kid and the TV commercial to your parents was, it's 11 o'clock p.m. Do you know where Dave is? It's curfew time.
Right.
Well, it's the year 2030. Accountants, what will you be doing? And the answer is there's a third of the accountants. Here we go with a third again.
Yeah, yeah.
A third that already are in the business of helping their clients with their business and financial problems, whatever they may be, they'll be just fine. I believe there's a second third that has those skills, but they're so busy being busy in the factory, making the sausage, making the financial statement, making the tax return. I watched them. I said, when are you doing planning? I don't have the time.
Hmm.
That group will get unleashed and will be even more productive. But I worry about the last third that's all they can do. And it's possible that those roles, those jobs, may in fact at some point be eliminated. But the answer to this has already been proven out. Do you remember the days when there was life insurance agents? We can't find one today because they're all certified financial planners, right? They don't sit with spreadsheets at their desk anymore. What happened figuring out rates and premiums? Technology replaced it. They
Yeah.
spend more time getting clients, serving clients, growing people.
Hmm.
Dave, do you remember someone called a stockbroker? Remember that? They don't
Yes.
exist anymore.
Yeah.
I called my wealth advisor, Ben. I said, Ben, my kid has got a project in high school. We got to pick a stock. Give me a stock. He says, Allan, I don't pick stocks. I could tell he was offended. I said, you don't pick stocks. I've been giving you all my money for years to put in equities. What do you mean? He says, well, technology, we have an algorithm. We find out your risk and then we, do a balanced portfolio and it takes care of itself. I go, well, what are you doing? He says, I'm spending more time getting business, serving clients on things that matter, and I'm growing talent. So when I look to the future of the accounting profession, that's what we're going to be doing. And how exciting is that?
I couldn't agree more. Thank you. I think you're endorsing this idea of every touch matters, that people need to shift from execution and grinding away, billing hours on filling out forms and creating deliverables, to being a true consultant, an advisor, helping rather than hustling and selling. And so it's going to take a profile, I think, that might be a little bit different for the accountant, not necessarily the person who wants to lean exclusively into just being technical, but they've got to be able to have some of these communication, soft skills, relationship development skills to survive going forward, don't you think?
Dave, I have never seen a better time for talent in the accounting profession to go through training, to go through a makeover. I
Yeah.
meet people that have gone through your program, and for them, I don't know if they call it life changing, but they call it business changing. The skill set development, the old stereotype, can is knowing how to lead, is knowing how to sell. Is it a natural act? Are you born with it or not? Or can it be learned? It can be learned. And I watch the people that come out of your program. It's a little bit like a religious cult. I mean, they now have the confidence, the knowledge. I don't think they ever took a course in college to figure this out. But more importantly, I don't think they ever practiced on the playing field. And now they're doing it. And you've built accountability in there for them to take the things they've learned and put them into play. And
Yeah.
I think I shared with you, I said, your business is about to soar in a way I don't think you've even anticipated yet. Because in 5 years, they're not going to be doing what they're doing today.
Yeah.
It's going to be better, but we got to learn how to do it better.
Thank you, Alan. Your endorsement and confidence and a show of support means a great deal. We try really hard not to make it overly complicated. This is a group of individuals, as you said, is kind of risk averse. And in many cases, they stop themselves. Oh, I can't do that, or it looks disingenuous, or they're going to think I'm selling something, and it's going to undermine all my street cred through my technical competences I built over the years. But I believe little things matter. And if we can just move the needle a few points per person and get them to see you're capable of this and to exercise some of these muscles and put them out there, like you said, they probably haven't tried some of these things on the playing field. Now they are. They're seeing traction, they're seeing success, they're seeing clients react in a different way to them. Uh, it just kind of snowballs from there. And so, thank you again for your support on that. Let me ask you this,
Dave,
Alan. Go ahead, please go ahead.
you know, I know you're wired this way. I believe I'm wired this way. I always wasn't. I was afraid of failure,
Hmm.
afraid of asking someone for business, afraid of calling somebody, afraid of meeting. And I think it hit me one day that, somebody once said to me, do you have the best accounting firm? I said, we have the best accounting firm in the country. And they said to me, well, do you help people? Can you help improve their business? Can you do the things financially or from a strategy standpoint to make them even more successful? Yes. And then they said to me the following. They said, well, if you believe in that and you're so passionate about it, then the most unprofessional thing you can do is not to get out there and help as many people as you can. And it was at that moment I came to realize I'm not selling, I'm helping. And I've never met an accountant or a lawyer who didn't say that they were the absolute best at what they do. Eh, But you have to have the willingness to get out there and accept failure sometimes.
Yeah.
That you're not the fit, it's not the right time, whatever, move on.
Yeah, thank you, Ellen, for clarifying that. And I would add to that, we teach the trust equation, Meister and Charlie Green's trust equation, credibility plus reliability plus professional intimacy divided by self-orientation. Now,
Love that.
that denominator is self-orientation. That means it has to be low to optimize trust. And so I think your point is it's not only helping, but it's about being in it for the other individual, not standing there and trying to showcase all the brilliant knowledge that you have. It's about being curious and assisting and helping. So thank you so much for clarifying that. A couple more questions. Um, does this have legs? Every touch point matter, all of these soft skills and things, are they eventually going to get AI'd out the door?
Uh, you're saying, are they eventually going to not have a job
No,
or?
I'm not saying the individuals. I'm saying the skills, the
Oh,
soft
oh, oh,
skills, the relationship skills. Yeah, they've taken over some of the technical competencies, but eventually, longer term, does that human element get AI'd out the door?
Dave, you're asking the wrong guy here. I was the consultant that in March of 2020, when everybody was locked up, I said to my clients, don't worry about this. This too shall pass. Everyone will be back in the office in June of
Hmm.
2020. It's now October of
Look at
2025.
that.
I, I don't know they're coming back.
Yeah.
No, here's what AI cannot do. At least won't do in our lifetime. I can't speak to more than 25, 30 years out, but passion,
Hmm.
creativity, caring, empathy, responsiveness. These are human assets that technology won't and can't
Hmm.
replace. And they're going to exist for a real long time. People have been talking about buying things online for many decades now. Somehow, there's still people that do this for a living. People, again, I said this early on, and I really believe it. People don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. That's the inspiration part that we deliver to our clients, making every day for them better. That's what matters.
Fabulous. Alan, I've been so thrilled to have you. And I said I was a fanboy at the beginning. I'm even more of a fanboy now. Thank you. One last question. If you, and I think we heard some of it, but maybe you can kind of net it out. If you were to advise next gen consultants, it's not just accountants, it's individuals who have an area of subject matter expertise. They want to bring it to the fore with their clients. If you were to advise those young next gen resources, talent, in terms of what they could be doing sooner in their career to begin to cultivate skills that will pay off long term, what would that advice be?
Yeah, I think it's that you have to. We study this. We study high performers. We go to the top 100 firms. Not that they're just in the top 100, but we say, give us your two or three best players. And the secret sauce is that they take customers and they build the relationship and convert them to the next level, which is a client.
Mm,
A customer buys something from you, there's no intimacy. A
mm,
client buys multiple things, refers things to you, and will come back for more. But the ultimate is to convert the client to the cheerleader. The cheerleader is your raving fan. They sell for you. And I find that so many of us, to use a maester term, live in the world of income time, billable time, and the other time is just other time. It's like filler time. That's the investment time. That's why you'll be worth more to your clients. That's why you'll be worth more to your firm. That's why you'll justify a higher rate. Get better, build and invest in that time and have as much passion. Treat the hour of investment time equal to or greater than the hour of income time. Don't drift. Start today.
boy,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you, Alan.
Thanks,
Customer to
Dave.
client, client to cheerleader. It's parallel to something we talk about. Are you a trusted advisor? I ask that all the time, and everyone says, yes, I'm a trusted advisor. And then I'll ask them, well, what does that look like? Well, we're very responsive. They'll go on, and I'll say, I'm going to grant you trusted advisor status, but it's tactical. You're waiting for things to come to you. A strategic trusted advisor, I think, is that individual who's moved from customer to client and client to cheerleader, where you're now up on your toes, proactive, bringing a point of view. Your conversations are open and honest. You've got the client's back. You're their advocate. You're their wingman. That is so different in terms of how you show up. And when you show up that way, I think it puts you on that path from customer to client, client to cheerleader. And we all know, Alan, this is a long game. We got to play the long game.
Dave, just on the trusted advisor. I've never had somebody tell me they're not a trusted advisor to their clients. And
Exactly.
the intuition is if the client didn't trust them, they wouldn't use them. but it's no longer good enough. We have to evolve from the trusted advisor to now the most valuable advisor.
Amen.
Technology will allow us to do this. Technology won't eliminate jobs. Technology will take the stuff away that has trapped us from being that most valuable advisor. We now have the time, combine it with the training, combine it with the passion, and we're going to soar. That's the great part of technology and transformation and talent all wrapped in one.
Allan, perfect summarization of this fantastic conversation. A true honor to have you on our show today. Thank you. And
Thank
Allan,
you.
I look forward to continuing our conversations beyond Every Touch Matters. All the best to you. Take care.
Thank you so much, Dave. It's an honor to be
Thank
on your
you.
show.
Cheers.